what's up? It is the Christian Anarchist, and I just wanted to make a quick little video before I decide to uh, go out and handle my day. I'm not going to be on as much as usual, of course, because I have a job to do. I have work, and that comes before my YouTube stuff, as well as family. So, the reason why I mentioned that is because I want to address a certain issue that has been pointed out to me by several people, it seems, in this certain community. I'm well aware that as you are on YouTube, you are going to be a victim to certain people, that you're going to be a target by some for criticism, as well as just speculation in general. So I don't use victim in the sense that I am a victim of some kind of crime, because that would be just retarded, honestly. I am not a social justice warrior, and I am not seeking for these people to be banned. However, there is something that I would like to share in the sense that these people, honestly, that are in this camp, known as the anti-Calvinists, when it comes to them on the internet, it seems to be very much more of a hide behind the keyboard and not engage in a conversation manner. So I'm going to screen share a selection from these two particular individuals that has brought this into my attention. And yes, I'm going to be making a podcast episode of this issue as well concerning anti-Calvinists. So right here, first off, we have a individual named John Q. Public. And if you want to look where these are, this is on the Robert Morey and Lordship Salvation thing. If you want to see these in full context for yourself, then you're more than welcome to do so, to check the context. But right here we have John Q. in a response during a conversation I had with 20 July 1944, which we'll get to him in a few. John Q. said, "Right, Calvinists love to isolate people in a 9-to-1 Google Hangout so they can laugh at and overwhelm their opponents with mindless gibberish instead of allowing a natural flow of discussion. For years, I've been trying to get a Calvinist to engage in a logical discussion of the issues by working our way through the logical path reason would lead, and every single one of them has run away like a little girl once they realized they were about to be trapped in a discussion they couldn't extract themselves from." So, first of all, for years you've been trying to get a Calvinist to engage in a logical discussion. You don't exactly describe where this is from, but later on, you would, 20 July, have stated that you prefer comments only, as in that is the only thing that you would refer to. But when someone says Hangouts, then it's a no-show at that point. So who seems to be running at this point? So that's my main concern, is that now you have people like this who are trying to treat Calvinists like bad guys. Now you have this guy acting like he's on a high horse, saying, "Oh, look, all they do is all Calvinists, period, do." I mean, every single one of these individual Calvinists will get you in a 9-to-1 hangout, toss you around like a stupid rag doll, because they would rather do gibberish instead of debate. And every single one I challenge has run away like a little girl. Where's the maturity in this guy? Honestly. Especially a guy trying to speak as a Christian and then has like a gun aimed at the screen as if he's aiming at you, the person viewing this stuff. I've noticed that one from your circle subscribed. Someone apparently seems the Bible-thumping wingnut has subscribed to this particular individual. Though I don't know why. I don't think he really has any content uploaded last I checked. Yeah, just apparently seems he's just got things on Marxism and firearms, apparently. I don't even know if those are his videos, though. Doesn't say so. But going on, apparently that also this guy seems to want to engage in a conversation, and every time I ask for a proper debate or challenge that he seems to have always run away from, it seems. And I tried telling him, bring him on a hangout, bring him on the podcast, do what they will be doing, and you can, if you, because of this, you can have it recorded if you want, instant message, and then you can take pictures to keep written documentation of this engagement. But doesn't want to do that. Instead wants to just stick to the comments and stuff. And this is how ridiculous it gets, to the point where I say, I honestly just think you make excuses and prefer to stay here instead of taking real challenges, to which responds, that's 100% my point. Anyone can join the fight whenever it is convenient for them. I'm explicitly taking into account that we all have real lives beyond fighting on YouTube, and then, I don't know why, bring your posse here, Haas. I'm your Huckleberry. This just, as soon as I saw this, I was like, this guy is pretty much just asking for attention here. It's what it seems to be. Because I'm saying then, I don't need a posse because I don't need to feed attention or whatever they want. They are going to stick with the diet that I serve. If you don't like it, then you take it somewhere else. I'm not trying to give you attention. And the only reason why I'm even bringing this up is to point out that you, 20 July 1944, and John Q. Public, honestly, need to be warned about for people not to really take you seriously. Unless you're actually willing to engage in a proper formal discussion on this, where we can actually engage turns and I'm not busy with work all the time. So that would be something a little better. But then all of a sudden, it gets to the point where you say I'm the attention whore because I want to have a discussion that others can easily read and respond to whenever they care to. I don't think that's what's going on, honestly. He missed the point, because that's apparently all he's trying to relay, is that he wants to relay that he's the only one who asks for a honest discussion, even though he hasn't probably known me, hasn't seen my other videos where I've engaged in proper discussions, and that the purposes of my shows are to engage in honest dialogue, but not just simply by means of comments, because comments I really could care less about. But rather, it's in the moment, in the now, having a discussion with somebody. Because having someone in a hangout or a podcast is much more close to legit conversation, as in face-to-face, having a back-and-forth dialogue where you don't have to just look up random information or copy and paste things over and over again, which, by the way, July 1944 has a habit of doing, with copy and pasting the same exact lines and questions over and over again if he doesn't feel that he's satisfied with your response. But he says that he was just simply speculating that John Q was correct and that I was supposedly going to ambush him. If so, then I could ambush him as easily here in a hangout. Plus, the discussion is easily reviewed and renewed by Calvinists and actual Christians of the future. So these people just want to assume things about me. They thought I was going to ambush people. I don't do that. I don't play this kitty, I'm tattletaling on the rest of the Calvinists on you garbage. Only children do that. I don't know. You may have had that experience with certain Calvinists, but not every single individual Calvinist is going to be like what you're trying to paint us out to be. So my open letter is simply this: if you're actually going to engage in a conversation, actually make sure you engage in a proper conversation, you conduct yourself properly, instead of just spitting out jargon of things that sound like you're on a high horse trying to measure your shaft with certain people. It's pathetic. When I see this, I honestly thought I was reading a post from a 12-year-old when I was reading these comments. That's how bad it was, and that's the first impression I get from them. So next time that you want to not appear as that, actually make some argumentations and then allow someone time to finish. If someone just doesn't respond immediately, either they're busy and they forgot, or they got other things to do besides arguing with someone over comments all the time. If you want to get engaged in a proper formal debate or a formal dialogue, that can be arranged, especially with the technology that we have today, and it will be recorded. And if you have a problem with waiting to look through all the different videos and the different timestamps within the video of an hour at least, then why should you expect the same from me when I could say, well, I have a problem looking through all these comments, looking for these one thing in the context? The argument can be easily turned back right against you. So you're making an excuse, and until you actually want to engage in a formal conversation, to John Q. Public and to 20 July 1944, if you actually want to engage in a proper conversation that's formal, where we can discuss everything you want to talk about, well, you have the email. My email's been public on some of my videos that you can go look and see, especially on the one that you commented on Robert Morey and Lordship Salvation controversy. You can easily access it, email me, and then if we're going to have a proper formal conversation where it's immediately back and forth, audio talking with each other. So, until then, this has been the Christian Anarchist. Have a good day.